I'm Terrill Tsang from UtilityNet Asian Tech team. Due to weather reasons, our Europe team cannot reach here today because it's flooded. But I'm gonna, on behalf of my team, to show everyone a totally brand new layer 1 blockchain that was called UtilityNet. So let's begin. As we could see that UtilityNet, decentralized digital chipset network, right? What is a decentralized chipset network? The chipset, we all know. Currently, the software, I have to say, the software currently, we are software developers, and we build software based on the system APIs, right? The SDKs. And the SDKs based on the drivers. The drivers based on the chipset. This is an ecology for software. So we call it a HDS, hardware-defined software. But now, we UtilityNet team raised up a new idea, that is software-defined hardware. And we could see from the picture that the hardware platform instance to decide the hardware APIs for the drivers, then to the OS, to the middleware, then to the application level. That's our apps, right? And by the way, we defined a lot of APIs for the drivers. And through the drivers, we define how the chipset should be designed. That's weird, but that's crazy. So imagine that if you wanted to build a whole new blockchain, you have to design a chipset for it. It's some kind of a crazy thing, but we believe that the token, the value of a protocol, is very, very huge. So many chipset manufacturers may change their design for the chipset to meet the requirement. So I must stress out what is UtilityNet and why we choose UtilityNet and how UtilityNet serves the world. Let's see the flywheel for the UtilityNet. We all know there was two roles. One is users who want to use the chipset, and one is the providers who provide chipset. The chipset in this ecosystem should be designed to meet the requirements. So not NVIDIA, not Intel, not Apple, not Qualcomm, but some with eyesight manufacturers like Bitmain. Yeah. And I have to show you guys a chipset in my hand. That is a UtilityNet chipset, meet the requirement. It was made by Sophom. It's a TPU chipset used for AI model inference, not for training. TPU was raised by Google on 2017. And Bitmain was the second company to product the TPU. And it's used for AI inference. For example, the modern models like open source models like Stable Diffusion X large and Llama from Facebook can be inferred from this TPU chipset. And why we call this chipset a blockchain-defined chipset? Because inside of the IC, there is a small module that can be used for cryptographics and the mathematics to prove the chipset is real. It's not a SGX from Intel or TEE, some trust zone from ARM. It's a hardware. The goal is to provide cheap resource for next generation edge computing and artificial intelligence network, right? A lot of chipset in the world, but not all of them will be interested with us because, as we know, if we are miners, we might Bitcoin, right? When Bitcoin price are $1, $1, who will make chipset for it? But currently, right, 10,000 or 100,000 Bitcoin, everyone want to make a chipset to join it. The chipset is expensive. To make chipset is expensive, but the protocol, the token value will be much huge than the expansion. And what we want to do is to incentive providers to provide chips to the world, to make a resource pool, to lease the computational power, the chipset resources to everyone who want to reach it. Just like IO.net, you guys may have heard of it, but we are a totally decentralized way. We are permissionless. And there are two bases. One is portion consistency security. What is portion consistency security? We all know the chipset making. We're making chipset. We have to use some techniques like photolithography. What is that? It is using EUV through a mask to projection on a photoresist wafer. So it's etching layer by layer. It's a 3D structure. Let's see. This picture revealed why the chipset inside of it is a 3D structure. It means that we can't even altering one transistor. If the chipset has been made, we can't altering any transistor. It provides a safety, right? The portion, it means that the portion of the chipset has the same security with the whole chipset. If we try to prove that the part of the chipset is real, then the whole chipset is real. So it's our idea to prove the chipset. Why we need to prove chipset? Because we have to earn the token, right? We have to be miners. We have to be providers. We have to prove our computational power. For example, 10T or 20T or somehow. But how do we make it? We can't use POW because, like Bitcoin is succeed, right? But if everyone use POW as the proof of work as the workload to the chipset, there is no spare computational power for the chipset because all the computational power will be used to prove the chipset has the ability to win block. So we have to spare them. This is a huge goal for us. And if we prove a part of a chipset, then we prove the whole chipset. And we use computational conduction properties to prove that the chipset has some ability to run tasks. For example, we use well-known benchmarks. We use third-party. We are organization DAO to give every chipset that meets the requirement a benchmark. And how can we combine the two bases? That's POCI consensus. The time is not enough. Let's go through quickly. This is a shorten of the algorithms, but there's not enough time. But what we say is that the part of a chipset has some cryptographic accelerator. It builds with transistors. So we give every manufacturer of chipset a protocol, a design. They can add it to, for example, Intel add it to CPU. It's a part, it's a union module. Everyone could do that. to combine the random number from on-chain, like DRAM something, to prove the chipset is real. And only the chipset can prove the on-chain chipset. Every chipset has their on-chain address. And this made some DeFi, new kind of DeFi real-world assets. It's decentralized. And almost all the tokens are given to the miners, to the providers. So it's totally decentralized. And why? Why we use it? Imagine that. For example, if we were chipset providers, we have two incomes. One from the mining. One from the renting. Yeah, renting the chipset. But why? Everyone wanted to use the chipset on the UtilityNet because it's cheap, much more cheap. We mine the token. That's the main income for the miners. So we can rent it at a very low price. And the uniqueness, decentralized attributes, and it's split chipset incentives and usage. And it's globally accessible through the peer-to-peer network. Demand supply logic, we can go through it quickly. We use a container cloud. It means that every miner has a container cloud. It's an open source code. Everyone could start it with a one-click button to start a cloud, like Amazon, like Google Cloud. It's open source, our project. And how UtilityNet serves the world. Through the POCI, every provider will be rewarded with UNC tokens. And we open sourced editable container cloud to everyone who has ability to change the code or to redeploy. And Core Galaxy, what's it? It's a new platform. We call it D platform. It's a Web 2 platform, but in Web 3 way. Because every miner can be listed. But the comments, right, we use our experience for the chipset should be centralized. Because we recommend to our friends or with comments whether the chipset is good or bad, or the container maybe lagging the network. So it's a deep platform. WebAssembly VM, we offer the virtual machine to build more DApps through it. And BDC chips, what's BDC? Blockchain-defined chipset. That's our protocol. Everyone can find it on our official website. And it's open source. Every chipset makers, producers can download it and add the module to the chipset design. And a lot of container cloud AI tools, Blockchain Explorer, utility SDKs to build the apps, and Core Galaxy to make like Amazon, just like Amazon, a place to buy and sell our resources, and the utility wallet and the wallet extension for Explorer. So that's, and this is UtilityNet container cloud. This means that this is a user interface. For normal users, we spend token to rent a container in container cloud that's driven by Kubernetes. So everyone can have easily, no KYC into AI using. For example, to run code, to run Stable Diffusion, XLarge, to generate a picture through the UtilityNet resources, chipsets. It's like what we're showing here. And through the UNC Scan Explorer, everyone could get every on-chain chipset. The chipset has on-chain address. And the wallet the app development SDKs like MetaMask. So that's all. And special thanks to Carmen from CoinW. And follow us. Thank you.